right, fam, we are talking today about some potential leaked photos of the Switch sequel to whatever. Basically, my understanding is that these leaked on a Chinese forum, and they appear to be from somebody that does AutoCAD designs for like cases that are for upcoming like electronics devices. So the assumption is that these are potentially pictures of the next Switch, and the renders and scans have been made available to this person because they have a prototype that they're preparing to manufacture like cases and stuff for. That's my understanding. Some people think that these are very, very credible renders. Some people think that this looks like it very well could be legitimate. There's the potential to actually have some actual logic boards on here. So some people think it's totally legit. Other people are not convinced. And in this video, I want to talk about it because I'm going a little stir crazy. As you can tell, I am not in my studio. I am traveling right now, and I cannot tell you why or where I am. So it's just going to have to be a mystery, and I likely won't get to tell you why or where I am anytime soon. So it's a full-on mystery, which is quite fun. But I'm going a little stir crazy, wanting to stream and talk to people about video games and ramble about this stuff, and so here I am. We're gonna talk about it anyways. I'll have Jacob put up pictures of these renders here on screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Basically, it looks like a Nintendo Switch with some designs that are reminiscent of the OLED Switch, specifically the back piece for it to stand on when you like take the Joy-Cons off and set it on a desk. It's not just the little stand that was there at the original launch version, but it's actually the wide piece, which is much less flimsy, which I appreciate. And there's some other little details that have caught people's attention, such as the potential for a USB-C connector even on the top of the device, which gets people excited that maybe there's the potential to charge it not just on the underside, but also on the top. So if you set it on like a table propped up like this, it actually can still be plugged in and charged without having to have a cable or a 90-degree adapter with it raised a little. You can actually charge it while it's in that position with the cable just coming off the top. So that seems potentially cool. But far and away, the biggest takeaway is that this looks just like the Switch. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. This basically looks like a Switch OLED Pro, effectively. If this is real, it is shockingly similar to the base Switch, which is not inherently a bad thing, but I do think it's an interesting choice, given the fact that the Wii U had some problems because people failed to differentiate it from the base Wii, and people didn't really know whether it was a necessary upgrade or whether it was worth upgrading, because it was like it's a new device that's being sold in the store new, but it's a Wii just with another letter on it. So is it really that much of an upgrade? And it caused people to have a little bit of confusion. A lot of people didn't bother buying it because they thought it was just a new controller basically for the current Wii. And I'm worried if these renders are real. I'm worried they're going to run into something similar this time around. Now, there's a couple of ways out of that potential predicament. For one, it's possible that this is not actually like a Switch 2. It's possible that this is not meant to be a replacement for the Switch. It's meant to maybe be a next generation Switch where they're still going to sell the old one, still try to make money off of it, still release games for it, but there's going to be new games exclusive to the new Switch that are special and look better and blah, blah, blah. That's one possible outcome. In which case, like, they're not really upset that people are still buying the old Switch because that's part of the plan, basically. It's that this is not a new 3 like DS, it's or a 2DS. It's not a new 2DS, it's like a 3DS. You know, it's a continuation of the thing from before. This meant to complement it, not necessarily replace it. So that's one potential way out. The other side of it is that they're confident that maybe the way they can market it is going to be enough to distinguish it. Maybe the games that they have for it are enough to distinguish it. Maybe just they're relying on the gamer base being more informed, and therefore it's not really a concern. You know, they trust that people are keeping up with the news on the Switch enough that it's not something to worry about, and people will understand that whatever this ends up being called, whether it's the new Switch, the Switch 2, the Switch Pro, whatever they call it, maybe they're just trusting that people will understand it enough to make informed purchasing decisions. I would say that's a bold strategy, given that the Switch is predominantly popular with like kids, and therefore it's being bought by parents mostly, a lot of whom are not necessarily in tune with the gaming industry, are not aware of the difference between a Wii and a Wii U, or a Switch and a Switch Pro and a Switch OLED and a Switch whatever the kids version is that's smaller without the detachable controllers. So there's the potential for this to be a bit of an oopsie if it is in fact real, these leaks that is. It's possible that they're fake. My understanding is that specifically the pictures of the logic board, I'm holding up to my camera like a boomer. My understanding is that these pictures are significantly harder to fake, and that these are what people are finding particularly convincing. Whether or not they actually are real remains to be seen, but still. I think it could be legitimate. I don't expect them to do a total reinvention of the wheel. You know, the Switch as a form factor has proven very, very popular. Even other devices like the ROG Ally, for example, have found some success, but don't have the removable, controllers. Other things like the Legion Go do have the removable controllers to varying degrees of success. And I think, the Switch in large part, in addition to the Steam Deck, has helped usher in a new era of handheld gaming, which I think is great. Obviously they sell well because people connect with it. I just hope that whatever this new Switch is, it is enough of an improvement to feel worth it, for one. And I hope that they are able to frame it in a way and market it in a way where it's successful. And the reason I hope for its success is not just because I don't want like more failures or anything. Sorry, as I move in this chair, it sounds like I'm farting. I swear I'm not. But it's also because when a console is successful and they can greenlight more games for it, we get more games. And when Nintendo makes more games, we get a lot more good games because Nintendo tends to make really good games. So I hope the console is successful. I hope it pops off. But looking at these renders and these leaks and the speculation and all of this stuff combined, I get a feeling that whatever this ends up being, it's not going to feel like a totally new thing. It's not going to be like that initial reveal of the Switch where it's like, no way they did this. This doesn't even look real. Like, are they really doing this? I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to look and feel and control and play like a normal Switch that we're all too familiar with. And it's not a bad thing. It's just less exciting. And I think potentially it could cause some confusion in the marketplace, because if this is what it looks like, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of like grandmothers and grandfathers who are trying to buy their grandsons and granddaughters presents, who go into the store and see all the Switches and they hear that, oh, little Timmy wants a new Switch. He wants a Switch really bad. Apparently they have a new one. And they go into the store and they see one that's on a deep clearance sale. And then they see the OLED and the kids one. And they see this brand new spanking one that's like $400. And they just decide to get the clearance one because, well, they're all Switches. So we'll just get them that one. And that's basically what did the Wii U in, is just that little bit of confusion. And it sounds stupid that such a massive product could have such a stupid reason for failure. But really, with retail sales and stuff, that is all it really takes for a game to find some serious trouble, and or for a console rather to find some serious trouble. True for games too. You can't really afford to screw any little bitty thing up. But it's interesting. When I heard that these leaks had happened, I pulled it up on my phone and I looked at them and I was like, I'm both surprised and not. Like, I'm surprised at how similar this allegedly looks, but I'm also not surprised because I wasn't really expecting a reinvention of the wheel. What they have is working. There's no doubt about that, or at least has worked over the last 7 years or so. But that doesn't necessarily mean that this will just continue that fad. It's really going to depend on how they market it. It's going to depend a lot on games. But if they have what people expect them to have, if they have, say, a new Mario at launch, if they have a new, maybe actual Smash Brothers game at launch, if they have a new Mario Kart at launch, if they have these types of games that are huge console system sellers, I do think it's still going to sell fantastically well, and I think there's going to be a lot of excitement for it. But I guess time will tell if this is actually real or not. Either way, even if it's not real, I think it's the reason it's so believable is because it's just about what we expect and what leakers have been saying to like expect, basically. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Let me know in the comment section what you think of all of it. Are you gonna like buy a Switch Pro, Switch 2, whatever they end up calling it? I'm guessing it's probably going to be $400. I can't imagine they go more than that, but apparently it's going to be like, you know, a pretty hefty device. It's going to have NVIDIA tech inside to do DLSS upscaling when it's docked and things like that. So it's going to have the best upscalers in the biz, which could make docked gaming actually like feasible on modern televisions and projector setups and stuff, which I think would be great, because that's definitely a shortcoming of like the 900p stretched out monstrosity that you have on the Switch right now. So that could be very, very interesting. But let me know if you are interested. Like, Nintendo's always like been really, really weird, where some people will buy everything they do no matter what. Other people are just not interested at all. And I'm interested in hearing your thoughts, because I'm not really sure what this community's stance on Nintendo is. I don't tend to talk about it much or cover it. So let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, like the video and maybe take a guess as to where I am. I'm guessing you're going to be wrong. You're going to be wrong, because I still am very surprised that I'm here. So we'll get the GeoGuessr guys to pop off. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging with me. I'll be back rock and roll and streaming soon. I can't wait. I miss you guys dearly. But until then, much love. I'll see you soon in the next one. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.
He took my thing.